I really did have a nightmare about Jeff Geiger, and it was more like a nightmare trailer. It was last month, and I dreamt I was outside just waiting to come in and be in the audience, and he was handing out his little flyer, and he gave me one, and then he thought that I was going to come in and try to be on stage, and he put his hand out, and he said, "Don't say anything." In other words, anyone else can get up here and sustain a single tone for 5 minutes, but not you. So I just have to say thanks, Jeff Geiger, for that encouragement, even if it was in a dream. So I'm here to talk about what to expect when you're expecting to kill yourself. And this is not going to culminate with my suicide on stage, and I didn't bring anything that I could do it with anyway. And I think it's illegal to do that also, and that's one of the rules. I could try to bond with the audience, like try to draw you in, ask how many people here have thought about it. But as you might know if you have depressed friends, we're not interested in you, we're interested in us. We're suffering more than you can even imagine, so I'm just going to go on with my topic. So when it first occurs to you that you could end your suffering, because you see how well it goes on movies and TVs, people do it, sometimes without much in the way of a plan, and it works. It works, and everyone is so sorry. Then you think, great, I have a solution to everything now. And if you're that discouraged, you probably already are sort of a procrastinator, but now you really are going to procrastinate because you're like someone on hospice who says, I don't have to pay my bills, I don't have to look for another job, even though I hate my job, because as soon as I get through this horrible shift, I'm going to kill myself. And I'd like to tell you, excuse me, I'm spitting on the microphone. You can go through so many years of a job that way, and it never occurs to you that you're not going to get around to it. So you put your head up every 10 years or so and say, oh, I guess I have to get a different job or I have to go to school or something. So I have done it. And you might think you're serious because you have a plan, and over the years you can really craft an elaborate plan. But as a psychologist, and I'm not a psychologist, I just have a junior college degree, which in my very accomplished family makes me Rosemary Kennedy. But psychologists say that if you have a plan, it means you're serious. But if you had a plan for 41 years, maybe you're going to die of old age first. I'm pretty sure that's a possibility for me. You should look at your anxieties related to your plan to figure out whether you're really ready to give it all up. Like if you're thinking about shooting yourself in the bathtub, and you're concerned, you think that's the most thoughtful thing, because you have a nice apartment manager. I do. She's very nice. Jessica? Yes. And I don't want her to have a mess. So I'm thinking, contain the mess. But then I'm thinking, this was in December, I'm thinking my shower curtain has mold around the bottom. And I don't want to get close to the mold. So I washed the shower curtain on gentle, and it got sorry, and it got holes in it. So then I had to buy a new shower curtain, and it couldn't be just any shower curtain, because it could be my final impression. And then another thing that worried me was that if you remember the old show Bewitched, which with the nosy neighbor Gladys Kravitz, I try to avoid knowing all the people in my building, but the woman next door is Gladys Kravitz. And when I come back from visiting my mother who has Alzheimer's, I feel like destroying things. And most recently, I destroyed my laptop because it felt great. So my neighbor, I think her name might be Carol. She knocked on my door, and I don't know why I answered it. And she says with that giant smile, anything wrong? And so anyway, I'm just afraid of what she will say if I were to do it, how she would say, oh yes, the things I heard from next door, and I don't want to give her that satisfaction. I also don't want, what's this, like 8 seconds? Okay, that's enough, thank you.